Recently, I made a video about every single plant in Plants vs. Zombies 2 Chinese edition that have a plush variant to them, and today I'm going to be doing the exact same thing but with the zombies. And while I'm only going to be going over zombies that are exclusive to the Plants vs. Zombies 2 Chinese edition, as I'm going over the ones in PVZ1 and PVZ2 in the international release, it wouldn't really make any sense as I already made two separate videos about them. But yeah, starting off with the first one, we have the Hammer Zombie. Now, the face on this plush actually looks really good, as all the embroidery and everything looks nice. And while the majority of these plushes released for the Kung Fu world actually have unique faces, which all just make them really cool. As it already just makes them super unique, as they just have all unique looks to them, and they look pretty good, and this plush also has a felt beard on it, which could get bent and damaged. The hammer on the plush that he's holding is really weird though, as it's stitched to the side of his head for whatever reason. And while I have no idea why they did that, but besides that, the actual hammer looks pretty good and is stitched to his hands. The original releases of these plushes actually came with gold bands around the arms, but the newer releases don't have that. And while for the older releases that do have those gold bands around them, they look pretty good, but they are made out of a felt material, meaning that they could collect dust and debris. But yeah, everything on this plush looks pretty good, like the clothes and everything, and all the details look pretty nice. And while for the older releases of this plush, it is kind of hard to come by, and the newer releases are just extremely common, and you can look for both of them on eBay. Next we have the Gong Zombie. Now once again, just like the Hammer Zombie, it has a unique face to it, and well, it looks pretty good. The hair on this plush is also unique, as not really many zombies have hair at all, but this one does, and it looks pretty good. It is nicely stuffed and everything, so everything just kind of looks good on the face, and for the clothes on this plush, they also are just really nice. As not only do they just look really accurate to the game, they're also made out of some really high quality material that look pretty good. And for the actual gong on this plush, it seems to be pretty nicely made. It's nicely stuffed, and it also has a felt piece on it which could actually get damaged, and it could actually fall off because it's only glued on. And while the gong and everything are just stitched to the hands, and it still looks pretty good. But yeah, just like the Hammer Zombie, there is an original release of this one, but the newer releases and original releases look really similar. And if you want either release of them, you can just look on eBay. Next we have the Exploding Zombie. Now, the face on this plush actually isn't unique, but there are just a ton of different variants of this plush that actually just have different looks to all of them. And while some of the faces look good, but others look pretty weird, but yeah, overall, sometimes the face will look good mattering on which variant you get. And well, once again, this hair basically is the exact same as the Gong Zombie plush, except it just has a red bandana around the head. And while the clothes on this plush are really nicely made, but some of the clothes are actually made out of a felt material, which is a bit of a downside, as since they could get damaged, they do sometimes look weird. And while the bottom is nicely stitched onto the hands, and overall, it looks pretty nice. But yeah, just like the other Kung Fu World plushes, these are nicely made, as the clothes and everything just look really good, and they did a nice job with it. And well, just like the others, the original releases are a bit harder to find, while the newer releases are extremely common. You can find both on eBay. Next we have the Kung Fu Conehead Zombie. Now the face on this plush is actually a bit more unique, as even though it just is a normal generic zombie face, they actually added eyebrows to it which are unique, so it makes it just look a bit better. They also put hair on this plush which looks pretty good, and the cone is also unique, and it looks really nice. As I actually really like the designs on the cones in this world, as they just have some blue and white on them, which just gives it a bit more detail, and it's nicely stitched onto the head. And while the clothes on this plush are actually really bad though, as since they're all made out of a felt material, they can all get damaged pretty easily. And a lot of the times when you see these plushes, especially the older releases, they're just really damaged, as felt could collect debris and dust pretty easily, so that is one downside to these plushes. But the rest of the plush actually looks really nice, and overall, if the felt material wasn't there, this would actually just be an amazing plush, and it still is a pretty good one. There are a few downsides to it though. And if you want, it's pretty common on eBay and other websites. Next we have the Quong Zombie. Now this plush's face actually looks really good, as the embroidery itself looks nice, but also all the hair on it looks really good. As all the hair on the face, like the eyebrows, mustache, and beard, are made out of this really fuzzy material, and it actually gives this plush a really good look. As I just really like that they did that, as it just gives it a lot more detail than just being embroidered on, so it overall just looks really good. And while I think the face is definitely the best detail on this entire plush, it's just really unique compared to any other Plants vs. Zombies plush that has ever been made. And well, for the clothes on this plush, they also are just really good as well. They're all just really uniquely made and everything, and he's also in a unique pose. As well, one of his hands are up just like in the game, so yeah, overall, they just did a really good job making this plush look accurate, and it looks really nice. It is definitely one of the most accurate looking plushes in the Kung Fu world. PVZ plushes as well, they just look really good. And well, if you want this plush, once again, it's pretty common just like the others for the newer releases, but the older releases could be hard to find. Next we have the God of Wealth. Now the embroidery on the face looks pretty good, and well, once again, it's just like the Quong Zombie, there's actually a lot more detail to it. As though the eyebrows are made out of this felt material, which looks pretty good, though they could get damaged as well if they're only glued on. And well, this plush also has a beard on it, which is made out of the same fuzzy material as the Quong Zombie, and it looks really nice. The hat on this plush could fall off, as well, since it's only stitched on and made out of a felt material, it could get damaged pretty easily. And well, that actually goes for most details on this plush, as well, a lot of the time when you see this plush for sale, it will actually be damaged. As well, for example, the items in the hands could easily fall off and get damaged, as well, since they're made out of a felt material only stitched onto the hands, a lot of the times when you see them, they will be damaged. And well, the text on the red flag that he's holding could also get damaged since it's only ironed on. And well, for the coat on this plush, it looks really good and it actually has a lot of detail to it, but it could fall off because it's only stitched on. But yeah, overall, if you get this plush in mint condition, it will look really nice. So even if it's not in mint condition, it will still look really good, though it is really hard to find in mint condition. Though for any variant of this plush that you want to get, they're just extremely rare, and well, even when they're in really bad condition, they can still sell for a lot of money. So yeah, overall, this plush is just really hard to find, but I would recommend looking on eBay. Now next up we have the Mage Zombie. Now the face on this plush is basically the exact same as the Quong Zombie, as though they just got rid of the mustache. As though they literally just took the Quong Zombie's face and literally just took out the mustache and just used it on this plush, but still it looks pretty good. And well, for the hat on this plush, it looks pretty unique, and well, it looks pretty accurate to the game, and it's also nicely stuffed so it keeps its shape. The wand that he's holding is stitched onto the hand, and well, since it's made out of a felt material, it could actually get bent and damaged pretty easily. And well, he's also holding a book which is stitched onto his body and his hand, so it's basically not going to come off unless if you purposely take it off, as well, unlike the wand, it's stitched onto two places. And well, for the clothes on this plush, even though they are really simplistic, they're still accurate to the game and they look really nice. And well, the only detail that I don't really like on this plush is that the shoes are this really bright pink color when they're actually supposed to be a darker purple color. As up in the game, the Mage Zombie actually has purple shoes, while in this plush they have pink shoes, but that's really the only inaccuracy that I can see on this plush. But yeah, overall, the rest of the plush looks pretty good, and they did a nice job of it, and it's really common, and you can find it on eBay. Next we have the Bandit Zombie. Now the embroidery on the face is actually unique on this plush, as he's wearing a mask which is really nicely stitched on, and it looks really good. And well, for the rest of the embroidery on the face, it looks really nice, and they did a good job of it. And well, for the rest of the details like the clothes and everything, they just did a really nice job of it, so the hood that he's wearing looks really nice. And well, on the top of the hood, it actually has some fake leather material on it that just gives it a bit more detail. Well, it looks pretty good. And well, the rest of the clothes on this plush also look pretty accurate, and they actually put a lot of detail into this plush, as though there's just a lot of really tiny cuts that just give it a bit more detail. So yeah, even though from a distance the clothes look pretty simplistic, they actually put a lot of detail to it, so it just basically looks perfectly accurate, and well, it looks really nice. And well, if you want this plush, it's really common, so you can get it pretty easily on websites like eBay. Next we have the Calvary Zombie. Now, when a lot of people see this plush, they actually think of the Night Zombie, but this is actually a completely separate zombie, exclusive to the Chinese version of Plants vs. Zombies 2. As of, even though both of them look pretty similar, they actually are completely separate different zombies, and while one of them are exclusive to the Chinese version of Plants vs. Zombies 2, and well, it's just a bit different. And well, for the embroidery on the face, it looks pretty good, and they did a nice job of it. And well, for the night helmet, it's basically fully made out of a felt material, meaning that it could basically get damaged in every single part of it. And well, it also has a feather on the head, which looks really nice. It's made out of this really fuzzy material, and it looks really good. And well, for the rest of the clothes on this plush, they're very simplistic, but also they look really accurate to the game. The only thing that I don't really like about this plush is that for whatever reason, it's a green color. And well, one thing that you'll notice about a lot of Links in 2 zombies is that for whatever reason, they made a lot of them green. And I never really understood why they did this, as well. They just had to change one color and just make them gray, but for whatever reason, they just made them green and just made them look inaccurate. But besides that, the rest of the plush looks really good. The thing that he's holding looks really nice, and it could get band damage because it is made out of a felt material. And while the re-release of this plush can actually be easily found on websites like eBay, but the original release is actually extremely rare and hard to find. Next we have the base zombie. Now the zombie actually has a really unique face, as it was basically the only zombie ever made that has a white face. And well, for the rest of the embroidery on the face, it looks really good, and they also add some extra detail to it just to make it look a bit more accurate to the game. And well, for the hair on this plush, they did a really good job of it. It's just this really vibrant yellow color, and they just did a great job of it. It's basically made out of the exact same material as the Quong Zombie's beard and stuff. And well, for the time, this plush, it could get damaged because it's only made out of a felt material, and for the rest of the clothes, it looks really nice. As of overall, this plush is just really vibrant, as it uses this bright red coat on it. It also has some bright yellow hair, so overall, the zombie just sticks out compared to the rest of them. And well, one thing that I did wish they did on this plush is in the game, the base zombie actually holds a guitar sometimes, so yeah, if they added that, this would have made the plush just 10 times better. But sadly, for whatever reason, they just didn't add that detail, and well, overall, the plush still looks pretty good. I think it just would have looked a lot better if they actually added the guitar to it. But yeah, overall, still a pretty nice looking plush, and you could pretty easily find it on websites like eBay. Next we have the Egg Pusher Imp. Now the face on this plush is just a very generic looking imp face, but they still did a pretty nice job of it, and it looks pretty good. And well, for the hood on this plush is actually really unique, as it was actually not stitched to the head, and it could actually come off. As though they made it so you could take it off and on, which is actually just a really unique detail, which I'm glad they did, as though it just makes the plush a bit more unique. And well, for the actual details on the hood, it looks pretty good. The eyes are nicely embroidered on and everything, and it has some teeth which are made out of a felt material, so they could get bent and damaged. The claws on the feet and hands could get damaged, as though since they're made out of a felt material, they could get bent and damaged pretty easily. But yeah, overall, they just did a really nice job with this plush, especially because this is just a really obscure character that I'm surprised that they ever made a plush of. And well, if you want it, it's extremely common. You can find it on websites like eBay for very cheap. Next up, we have the Eggshell Imp. Now, the face on this imp plush is actually just slightly different than the Egg Pusher Imp, but it still looks pretty good, and they did a nice job with it. I do prefer the face on the last imp plush more than this one, but overall, it still looks pretty nice, and they did a good job with it. The top of the eggshell looks really good, as it was nicely stitched onto the head, and it looks accurate. And well, for the bottom part of the eggshell, it does look accurate as well, and it's nicely stitched onto the body so it can't come off. And well, that's basically the entire plush as well. Since it's just a really simplistic character, they didn't need to put a lot of detail into making it, which is most likely why they decided to make it. As well, since it's just a really simplistic character, they didn't need to put a lot of work into it, and well, but still looks pretty good. And well, if you want this plush, it's just really common. Well, you can find it really easily on websites like eBay. But yeah, that was every zombie in Plants vs. Zombies 2 Chinese edition to actually have a plush of it. And well, as you can tell, there's barely any of them that actually do have plushes of them, but hopefully the newest Links in 2 set adds a few more, as though they've been adding a lot of unique plants, but no zombies. So who knows, maybe in this new set we'll hopefully get some new zombies in this game. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please like and subscribe, and comment down below which of these plushes are your favorite, and yeah, have a great day.